Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm sure there are more seats available. Don't worry if we're starting to talk now. We're going to go slowly into the subject of today. Welcome to fantastic Java apps and how to kubify them with Dekorate. The place where you find the slides is dn.dev/dekorate-java. So this is where you can find the slides of today. You can download them from there. And also at the end, we're going to share the location of our code. It's present in the slides, but we're going to share a QR with that one as well. So those being said, a little bit about ourselves. We're for the very first time in this formula as a presenters talking about Dekorate. I'm Anna, I'm Java champion, certified architect, currently working as a developer advocate for Red Hat. I'm passionate about solving scenarios that are a little bit more complex, working, of course, with Java apps and Kubernetes. And thus, I am today together with my colleague, Aurea.
Thank you, Anna. So, hi everyone. My name is Aurea and I'm software engineer for Red Hat. I work for the Snowdrop team where we try to improve the developer experience for SpringBoot users that want to take their applications and deploy them in OpenShift and Kubernetes. I'm also JDuches and Madrid Jack leader. Let's jump to the talk. So, as software developers, we experienced some headaches about YAML, right? Manually writing YAML or maintaining YAML files. Luckily, nowadays we have tools like Dekorate to take that part of that burden away from us. What is Dekorate? Dekorate is a collection of tools for generating Kubernetes manifests. With Dekorate, developers don't need to edit any JSON or YAML files to customize manifests because Dekorate will do it for us. And it will do it as easy as adding a jar into the class path of our application. Dekorate supports vanilla Kubernetes and Red Hat OpenShift. What are the strengths of Dekorate? Dekorate works for all build tools and all JVM languages. It allows very fine-grained customization. You can customize manifest using annotations or file properties, and also both of them. It can be used as a standalone tool and as a framework. For example, is the framework used by the Quarkus Kubernetes Extension under the hooks for generating manifests. And the most important goal for Dekorate is to provide the simplest out-of-the-box experience, so it detects frameworks such as SpringBoot, Micronaut, or Quarkus, and align the manifest accordingly. For example, if you're using SpringBoot for your microservices, Dekorate will automatically add the port 8080 to the manifest. So we can generate Kubernetes manifest with Dekorate. We can also experiment making containers with strategies like Git, Docker, and S2I features also. We can customize the manifest with annotations and properties file, but never we need to edit any YAML file. How we can use Dekorate? To use Dekorate, we first need to add a jar in the class path to enable Dekorate. Then we can stay with the default values that Dekorate provides. But if we need some customization, we can do it using the annotations and the properties. Then we will need to build and push the container image to a public registry in order to make it available for the cluster. And finally, we can apply this manifest to the target cluster to deploy our application. So let's demo it. It may sound a little bit bold, so we would like to make a demo. We are going to use two applications, a Sprint pet clinic application where we will see how Dekorate detects a sprint and align the manifest accordingly, and also a Quarkus pet clinic application where Dekorate is used as a framework via the Quarkus Kubernetes extension. We will deploy it also in a cluster. What cluster, Anna?
in order not to start locally and consume some memory and our machines to be heavily loaded, we're going to use the developer sandbox for OpenShift, something that you can also get access to. It's free access. You just need a Red Hat account to that one, and it's something that renews every 30 days in terms of access. You don't need any credit card to get access to it. You just have to go to developers.redhat.com/developer sandbox and get an account to that one. And we're using it because for today we're also going to use Knative, and it already comes with the Knative operator on top of it, and also it supports Helm, and we're going to show you a few things around it, why it's a little bit a nicer experience to deploy remotely when you're trying to develop something instead of using a local cluster. So that's about it regarding where we're going to deploy. Let's warm up.
A few words about the container. As we will see, we are going to generate manifests pointing to a container image. This image should be available for the cluster when we will apply the manifest, right? To do so, we can use a manual tool like Docker, for example, but the other possibility is to use the hooks provided by Dekorate to trigger the build and push of the container image after the compilation of the project. Dekorate, to do so, we just need to configure the strategy that Dekorate is going to use. Dekorate support Git and Docker as container build strategies. In this demo, we are going to use Git because it allows to completely avoid having to write a Docker file. So the container image is already built because it takes a few moments. We don't have enough time for all the things we would like to show you. So in order to configure the Java strategy, we have added the Java Annotation dependency to the POM of our applications, then adjust some details about the image, and finally we have triggered the build and push of the container image by adding two flags to system properties at the command line in the maven clean package command. Okay, so we can jump to the demo.
Yay.
It's Anna, but it's going to do
I'm going to
code.
listen.
So first, we start with the Spring Pet Clinic application. The simplest thing to do is to add a jar in the POM. So let's start it with the Kubernetes Spring starter from Dekorate. The simplest user experience shouldn't invoke any requirements on any external tools nor plugins. So just adding the jar will trigger and bootstrap the generation process. Now we can launch the compilation with Maven clean package without tests.
To shorten the time, because there are quite a few tests around this one.
And now Dekorate will automatically generate the manifest. It will create a new folder under target.
One sec.
Yes, target, classes, metainf, Dekorate, and where we have two files, the JSON flavor and the YAML flavor of our manifest. The manifest itself is pretty simple. It just contains a deployment object pointing to our container image and a few recommended labels. And also, as it has detected the Spring controller annotations, it has generated a service object binded to the 8080 port, because we usually expose Spring applications at the 8080 port. So that's all at the moment. But now we would like to customize a little bit more our manifest. So we can do it using annotations and using properties. Let's start with annotations. If we use annotations, we are going to use things like Kubernetes application annotation, where we can configure plenty of things. Let's choose the replicas in order to have 2 pods, for example, for our application. Okay. So we configure it and launch again the compilation. And now, if everything goes well, we should have 2 replicas in our deployment object. So let's check it.
Ta-da, moment of truth.
Yes. Also, we need to expose the application, but we can do it in the properties. Okay, so for people that prefer using properties, Dekorate provide the ability to do the same configuration in properties. So for configuring replicas, we will do Dekorate Kubernetes.replicas, set it to 3, for example, or
Okay.
and we need to expose our application outside the cluster, right? It means that we need to generate an ingress resource, and that can be done by Dekorate Kubernetes expose property to true. So we regenerate the manifest, and now note that the properties have a higher priority than the configuration done in annotations. So if you do the same, you will have the properties in the manifest. And we have the ingress resource.
Yep.
Now we can apply our manifest.
Okay.
And we can do it with the hook provided by Dekorate. Yes, I would like to show the configuration about the zip.
Okay.
Just the properties. Here, the container image is already generated, and we have configured it with these properties. So just like this, it is available in the QA Red Hat developers registry. And now let's launch the deploy with this flag, Dekorate deploy true, and it will compile the project, generate manifest, and then apply this manifest to the cluster where we are connected. So it takes
A little time.
some seconds.
It's creating stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's enough for that. Okay,
And
let's
now if we go...
It kicked me out. But it's a good thing that I'm still logged in from the command line over there.
Okay, so now we have our Spring Pet Clinic application here, and we need just to create the root because we have the 3 pods. Yeah.
Okay, I want to scale this down a little bit to less, like have like just one. Like I think one it's enough for the moment. Okay. And in order to expose our application to exterior, although that we have an ingress, since we're deploying an OpenShift, we can add something extra and give like a proper nice URL to this one. And the easiest way to do it in the Sandbox is to use the in-browser command line terminal. So the nice thing about SpringPad Clinic, if I'm going here and clicking on resources, I see that the service that's connecting to it, the one that's cluster IP, is called SpringPad Clinic. So I can do OC expose service SpringPad Clinic and get.
And the route is created and exposed. So
let me make this smaller and click on the link here. Open
Yes.
URL. And hoping that everything went fine. And we have a Spring application deployed and up and running. So we can interact with it and it has a nice URL. Okay, so this is for Spring. What about
Yes.
Quarkus?
Yes, let's do it the same with Quarkus. With Quarkus, Dekorate is used as a framework, and is the first thing we need to do is to add the Kubernetes extension to our POM.
Yeah, and I usually add it from code.quarkus.io because I don't remember all the commands by heart. And I'm going and typing here Kubernetes and, using the all-known technique of copy-paste, which is working the best, and adding it like this.
So we can add the extension. Now we can start the app in dev mode, for example.
Okay, yeah. One sec. And bien.
In that case, as we are in a Quarkus dev mode, we don't need to generate manually the manifest by launching the compilation. Quarkus is going to do it each time that it detects a modification. So now we have the manifest generated under another folder, target, Kubernetes, and Kubernetes YAML, and we have also a very simple manifest with a service and a deployment pointing to our Quarkus image. So for doing the same configuration, we are going to use properties this time. So the name of the properties changed a little bit in order to be aligned with the Quarkus configuration. So Quarkus Kubernetes replicas, 2, for example.
Okay.
Quarkus Kubernetes ingress expose to expose our application and generate the ingress resource. And it's all.
Yeah, I think it's all of
Yeah.
this one.
So
Okay.
yes, we can open the manifest and check that our configuration has been reflected.
Yes.
Yes.
Replicas 2.
And we have an ingress resource at the end.
Great.
Okay. Now we have finished of developing our application, so we can stop the dev mode and we can apply the manifest also with a flag in the command line. Maven clean package.
Same thing. Skip tests.
And this time is Quarkus Kubernetes deploy true.
Yep.
And if everything goes well, it will be deployed in
In the same place.
some seconds.
Just bear with us for a moment.
Yeah.
It seems to be successfully deployed. So let's go here and see what happened. Oh yeah, this Quarkus Bot Clinic is here. And it seems to be up and running. You don't mind if I scale down. I'm always like mindful to resources. And I'm just putting 1. I think 1 it's enough.
Okay.
Just to have 1.
And let's expose the root also to access the application from the browser.
Okay, Quarkus Bot
Yeah.
Clinic.
Okay.
So let's see. Tick, tick, tick. Yay.
And the application is up and running.
Cool.
So let's summarize a little bit what we did. We added the Kubernetes Sprint Starter for the Sprint Pet Clinic application. We adjust some values in the configuration to customize our manifest and deploy the manifest via the hook provided by Dekorate. And we did the same for the Quarkus one. But in that case, we use the Quarkus Kubernetes extension that is using Dekorate under the hook and configure the values in the properties file, because in Quarkus we don't use annotations, we use properties file because it's managed at build time. So it's for why we use the properties.
Yeah.
And now time for Knative.
Yes. So probably many of you were yesterday at Holly Cummins' keynote speech, and you heard about Java and some features of Java, and that at some point Java was not regarded as fit for serverless. However, Knative, Dekorate plus Java can help us when we're trying to get closer to being serverless with Java. And before going into generating manifests for Knative and deploy this on in the cluster, what is Knative? So Knative is an extra a plugin that you're adding on top of your Kubernetes or vanilla Kubernetes if you want, in order to work with serverless workloads in Kubernetes. You don't need to worry anymore about having a specific function as a service provider or use a specific I don't know, CLI and all these things. You just you know that if you're developing with Knative, you're having scripts with Knative, those can be ported across different clusters of Kubernetes that have Knative installed. Knative has 2 parts, also available in the Sandbox, and also that you can work with when you come to generate with things with using Dekorate. So the first part, and what we're going to demo to you, of course, is the Knative serving part. You can run serverless containers in Kubernetes, and you can see here that by using Knative services that belong to a slightly different API than the regular Kubernetes service APIs, you can control the configuration, you can control the revisions of your deployment and the routes and the access that and how you're going to manage the access to those deployments of yours there. You can do blue-green deployments and you can do canon releases thanks to Knative serving. Now, there's another flavor of Knative eventing. So when you're thinking of event-driven applications, and probably you've tried that before, just managing that only from Java code, and you realize that having consistency with your events and with your messages just by using Java is kind of difficult. Well, Knative is there to help you in connecting the sources and for the producers and the consumers and making sure that your messages are being maintained okay and they're delivered consistently as you're expecting, without troubling yourself with coding a lot in Java. And those being said, let's use Dekorate with Knative. What do I need? Let's see. Let me clear a few things here. We're going to start with Spring, as always, in the presentation. So let's go here. Spring first. For the Spring part, again, we need to add a dependency. So for this one, we are adding the io.decorate, and here is going to be the Knative annotations part of Dekorate. If you're wondering where we are getting all these dependencies, maybe we know them by heart now, but the secret is that you can find them here in dekorate.io, where is the home of Dekorate. You will find information about documentation, the configuration guide, and many more things that are available regarding Dekorate. And of course, there are a lot of examples with Dekorate, many of them with SpringBoot, some of them with Quarkus, and with some other frameworks, because Dekorate aims to be applied generically to many, many more frameworks. And you can also contribute to it. It's very nice to contribute, and it's open source. So that's about it. And the team is very helpful when reviewing your PRs, speaking from experience. So those being said, let's go and create some Knative resources. So we added this one to our pom.xml. And let's see and do the magic nvn clean package minus the skip tasks and see what we get first, just with this. So if we're just using the default, blah, 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 yes, new stuff here. If we're going to go back to the target classes meta-if decorate, besides the kubernetes.yaml, you'll see that's getting generated the knative.yaml as well. That creates, out of the box, configuration for a Knative service that is using a specific image, is getting the default name of the project, which is SpringBoot Clinic. It gets the container port and some other things, and gets also the health checks that are configured for this, the actuator path to the health probes. So that's automatically done by Dekorate. But furthermore, you can customize this. So you can do, dekorate.knative.name, and say k-spring-pat-clinic. And not only this, clear, and do this again, and have this overwritten. Okay, Kubernetes Knative. Cool. And you can see the name has changed here. Now, the great part of working with this is that you can also use directly the kubectl and install it. So you can use either the MVN or the kubectl apply. Classes, meta-inf, yes?
Dekorate?
Yeah. I thought I had that something. Dekorate, what was that? Knative.yaml. So and apply this to the cluster, but no, not just using Dekorate via the other properties. You can again use the annotations. So there's a Knative application that you can use and define all these things in annotations if you prefer to use annotations with Spring. So that's something at hand as well. now that the SpringPad Clinic is created, of course, some revisions. The deployment will be balanced by the Sandbox and everything, and available and put there for us to work. This is the part with the SpringPad Clinic. Now it's up and running 100%. And you'll see that if after a while I'm not using my SpringPad Clinic, it will be scaled down to 0 automatically by Knative. Moreover, you can also add more properties for this one. So we can add things like autoscaler class. You can use horizontal plot autoscaler with Knative. You can also say like what kind of autoscaling you want to apply, like requests per second, and how many requests per second do you want to have, like 100 requests per second. And you can define all these details and generate this using Dekorate. So this is available for you. That was for Spring. Now, for Quarkus, because we also need to take care about Quarkus. Well, Quarkus doesn't need any other extension for working with Knative. The Kubernetes extension is including the Knative work. What it needs is just to change the deployment target. So quarkus.kubernetes.deployment target, Knative. And next, we can just say quarkus.knative. What is that name? Yeah. And say k quarkus clinic. I don't think, yeah, it stopped. If I'm starting this again in dev mode, and yes, read from disk, the knative.yaml is being generated at compile time with the name that I specified. Again, because I have the health extension, is automatically mapping to the probes. It knows where to get it. It knows how to look into that, to what container ports to connect, and so on. Moving forward, I can also do this and do the deploy true, or I can just use the skip test because I've used it before with the Spring and just use the kubectl apply in this case as well. So that's when a few things can be generated. And the same, the auto-scaling is available there. You just have to prefix it with Quarkus instead of Dekorate. That's the only difference in terms of naming of the properties. And of course, kubectl apply -f target Kubernetes knative.yaml. So let's go here. And you see now a little bit that my Knative, my KSpringPad Clinic was scaled to 0 since I'm not using it. If I would like invoke it again, it's starting again. So that's the beauty of serverless. So you just instantiate only when you need it. And similarly, the Quarkus Pad Clinic will be balanced and it will be available soon for us to consume and to look into it. So to summarize a bit, for the SpringBoot situation, in order to work with Dekorate, we just need to add Knative Annotations dependency, and then we can use annotations or configurations if we like, to adjust the generated Kubernetes resources. And again, we can use the Dekorate deploy to true, or you can use the kubectl, and it works like a charm. For Quarkus, you just keep the extension, you just change you change the deployment target. Same, adjust revision, autoscaling, and traffic details by using properties, and you can deploy just with Quarkus Kubernetes deploy or using kubectl. Simple as that. Well,
What about, okay, has it been?
Yes, it has been.
Yes, I was going to ask you, what about Helm? Because I'm feeling the question at the end.
Yeah, because I also promised something with Helm, right? So when working with Kubernetes, it's okay, we can like configure stuff, we can generate YAML, but if we're working with multiple environments, wouldn't it be nice to have like parameterized way to working with those environments? So this is what Helm is helping us. So, and Dekorate thought of like creating something for Helm as well. So let's demo that as well. Let's clear the things here. And make a little cleanup. I think I need to clean up a few things because I know some stuff are going to be. So I'm just going to make a little cleanup for my apps. Just bear with me for a moment. Classes.
Meta.
Oh, okay, meta. Yeah. So used to Quarkus.
Dekorate.
This is me because I'm used to Quarkus. Aurea has to help me, telling me what to. Okay, so Kubernetes.yaml. Okay, deleted. Cool. And I also need to delete something from the Spring. If I hope I have it. No, I don't have it anymore. Anyway, I'll do some old style Kubernetes. Okay, ctl delete, deploy, Quarkus, because I like this. What would be a presentation with a lot of with Kubernetes without some kubectl commands? Okay, service and also the ingress. Yes, because we need to clean up a few things. Cool. So now that we cleaned up stuff, let's go back and work with Helm and Dekorate. So, first of all, I'll comment this one, not to confuse the generation of resources for the Helm part. And to work with Helm, I just need to add another dependency, which is io.decorate. And here is like Helm Annotations. And of course, the same version as this one. By the way, if you're wondering what's the version that we're using, like it's there in the repo, but you'll find out it's 2.9.0. This is the last one, right? Latest one. Okay. So we're using the latest version of Dekorate for this one. You'll find it in the repo as well. So this is for the Helm part for generating this one. Now, going to application.properties, also for not confusing stuff, you can just go here. I like working with properties more because I can overwrite them at build time, at runtime, so that's why I like more properties. I know Aurea likes more annotations, so I'm going to go first with annotations, and I'm going to be like, oh, okay, at Helm. So there are some annotations you can use with this one. One of them is like at Helm. Okay, it's not in the path yet.
No.
I didn't save the POM.
The version, maybe?
No, I have to reload it. It should be fine now. If not, we're going to debug it together. At Helm. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
So there are two annotations to work with Helm. The first one is Helm chart. And then this one, you can give name, you can talk about description, put some values, and all other stuff regarding that will be reflected in the chart.yaml, right? But there's another one when you need to like reference the subcharts, and that one is called Helm Dependency. So Helm Dependency is helping you with the name, repository, and version of the subcharts that you want to use if you want to deploy those all together with your Quarkus Pet Clinic or application. So this is just a brief explanation of the annotations that are available there for you to customize when working with Spring. But as I like application properties, I'll go with properties for this one. So I'm just going to say helm.name and just add hspring pet clinic. And you can customize a little more, and we'll let you discover that within dekorate.io documentation, how we can like add even more to this. And like last time, we're going to generate our Helm charts by mvn clean package minus the skip tests. Okay, the target is being cleaned. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong?
Okay, Knative. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I forgot something. Oh, yes, this one. Thank you. So, now it's going to work. I have a good feeling.
Yes.
Yes.
It has generated.
Okay, so if you're looking at target classes, meta-inf decorate, there's a new folder called Helm. And this one has the name that it was defined in the SpringPad Clinic, like hSpringPad Clinic for our charts. It has also some values. Oh my God, it has replicas here. I'm going to change this to 1. It took it from the Kubernetes configuration. So it's very interesting to see that how Dekorate is combining what you're setting up at Kubernetes level and can enhance it at the Helm level, like, make it even better. And it's also like putting that for the ingress as well. So it's making an ingress configuration as well here. So you pretty much get the same things, and you can interact with these charts like usual and say Helm install SpringBoot clinic target classes metainf decorate Helm. That's a very long path. SpringBoot clinic. So you can install them like regular Helm charts in your Kubernetes cluster, and there will be no issue in using them further. And one nice feature when using the Dekorate Helm annotations is that you get a very, very beautiful explanation on how you can further use the Helm charts that you just deployed and how you can enhance your experience even more, and explaining you a little bit about Helm. You don't get this by default with Helm, so the team has really worked on adding all these extras for you to know what to do next. So let's clear it. And yes, as you can see here, the SpringBoot clinic has been deployed as a Helm chart. It's available. Let's open the URL. Hopefully it's working as expected. And yes, we have the SpringBoot clinic deployed as Helm chart. Now let's go to the Quarkus version. Now Quarkus, it's a little bit different from the Spring part. So for Quarkus, there is an experimental extension that is available in the Quarkiverse for working with Helm. Is being enhanced, so also accepting contributions and feedback on that one as well. And let's just go to this one, and I need to go back to here. And I'm adding it using -d extensions and calling it Helm. This is going to get the latest version available of the Helm extension from the Quarkiverse, and this is like 002. To work with it. It's also using Dekorate under the hood, like the Quarkus Kubernetes extension. So in order to customize a little bit this one, again, going here and say Quarkus helm.name, I think it was, and say hey, h Quarkus bad clinic. I'm not going to start for the interest of time in dev mode anymore. I'm just going to go with clear mvn clean package -d skip tests to generate the Helm charts for this one as well. And in the case of Quarkus, you're going to see in a bit there's a small difference where things are being generated and how they're generated. So there's going to be a separate folder under target called Helm. And this one contains h Quarkus bad clinic, the one I defined it here. Again, with the values and everything. And as always, you can override what's being generated there. So feel free to use that. I'm just going to go to the Kubernetes part and just cheat a little bit for the interest of time and get the image. So you can always take these generated files as starters with Kubernetes and enhance them manually if you still want to work with them manually. And again, like I did last time, I can install it and say install Quarkus bad clinic from target. Oh, yes, target Helm h Quarkus bad clinic. Hoping I didn't mess up anything else with the configurations. Yes, it has installed the same message and the same things available. So it's pretty much doing the same things as before. And it has installed my application, and it's available in my cluster for working with it further. It's gonna, oh, this one is gonna scale for 2 to 2. Okay. I still hope that there is space for it. Okay, I'm gonna scale it to 1 for just 1 second, because I don't know how many resources I still have. Okay, It's okay. I'm at the limit with the resources, as you can see. So now my application is also deployed with Helm charts, with the Quarkus, the same thing, thanks to Dekorate. Summarizing it again, how do you decorate an application like SpringBoot Clinic with Helm charts? I added the Helm Annotations dependency. I could use annotations and configuration to adjust generated charts. And again, nvn clean package, and just use the Helm CLI to install my charts. Moreover, for Quarkus, I added the experimental extension for Helm. I used the configurations to adjust the generated charts, and of course, clean package and install it with the Helm CLI. So pretty much similar experiences when working with Helm. And as we have some time left, and we wanted to have some time left, we want to give you a bonus. Generate Tekton pipelines with Dekorate. So this is also something to experiment with, if you feel like experimenting with. This annotation is available only for SpringBoot right now. So we're going to decorate only the SpringBoot app for this one. So what is Tekton? Well, I think in a nutshell, you can think of Tekton like the Kubernetes native Jenkins that can help you with building, deploying, and automating working with Kubernetes resources. And probably as developers, some of you will not interact with these kind of definitions and YAMLs, but it's good to know how you can do it by using Dekorate. So, last part of our demo. Again, going to pom.xml, just putting this one on hold, and add the dependency for Tekton. So it's going to be io.decorate as always, and here, Tekton annotations. And of course, the version the same as the one that we used before. Okay. Okay, and now let's just nvn clean package this skip test and see what gets generated with Tekton. Uh-oh, I forgot something. Error compiling.
Annotation.
No. Unknown generator Helm. Okay, because I know what I did. I removed that one, and it said, yes, that was a good feedback. Okay, you remove something and you want to use this configuration. I don't know about it. Null pointer exception. I love those. Is there a null pointer exception somewhere? On project expression. Where do you have this on? In this breath point clean annotation. Oh yeah. Good. It's good to have feedback from the build. Third time is a charm. It's gonna work. Yeah. We really rehearsed this code and this. Again.
Still.
Processing here. SpringBoot. Blah blah blah. What's wrong with you?
Did you modify the wrong POM file, maybe?
No.
No?
No. I put the right stuff. I know I put the right stuff. I saved it.
Oh, yeah.
Tekton annotations. Oh, I think it might need some stuff in my properties for Tekton. Let me just see this one. Detect Tekton. Maybe this one, because sometimes Tekton needs a workspace claim. Let's see. Otherwise, it's going to be like, Oh, yeah. It needed a workspace claim name. So this is also under improvement, the Tekton ways of working, on the experience. So this is good that we're doing this demo today and know what we can improve regarding the experiences. So again, if you're going to the meta-inf, under the Dekorate, we see the Kubernetes at YAML. But we see some other stuff being generated here. So you get a starter with Tekton, and meaning you get a Tekton task on how you can build and deploy the SpringPad Clinic. And of course, you get some roles because you have to deploy these parts securely and how you can work with this. And there's a task and the steps for the task for that one. And also you get a Tekton pipeline and a Tekton pipeline run. So you get some defaults on how to have these tasks and pipelines with Tekton, but also how to run them, some defaults on how to run them. So this was pretty much our presentation. This is where you find the code and everything like finalized there and working. Of course, we're welcoming feedback, NPRs, and questions as always. So thank you for listening to us, and I think now we're open for questions. Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm fine.
There's a question there.
Dekorate supports Quarkus profiles. So to be able to configure the pre-prod, prod, and dev environment from the Quarkus profiles.
Yes, you can if you use the Kubernetes extension from Quarkus.
I was going to repeat the question first, but that's okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Well, it's a very, very good question. Any more questions? There's another question. Oh, yes. So the question was, what about the Gradle support? Dekorate also supports Gradle.
Yes.
And it was funny when I worked with the Spring Pad Clinic, because I got it from the official Spring repo, and I just upgraded it to Java 11 just to keep the same Java version for both projects, is that initially Dekorate was seeing the Gradle build and was generating the resources based on Gradle, not on Maven. And I was like, no, I don't want you to use that. So I removed that, but it works. So if you want to experiment more, I would suggest if you want, get the official Spring Pad Clinic and remove maybe the Maven to avoid the confusion and everything and experiment with Gradle, but it works. So I tried that one and I've seen that one. You're taking this into account. So yeah, it does work. More questions?
No.
Okay, so we have some extras for you. Since you joined us at our session, and tonight is going to be the DevRocks party, we have some flyers with invitations to the DevRocks party for you to take. So if you'd like, join us tonight at the DevRocks party to taste the brews that were named on 5th of May, and of course, celebrate together this awesome conference and the fact that we are back together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.